Well, hi, Mike. Thank you for taking some time today. I'm very excited to chat with you. How's it going?
Everything's going great. I can't complain. I mean, we got the finale of Cannonball. Everyone seems to be really, really liking the show. You know, from when it started, I didn't expect the praise that I would get from this show, but you know, having it on NBC as well as USA is a huge nod that NBC Universal is really behind this show, and it's been doing really well. And I've been getting a lot of great feedback, so that's always nice.
Well, it's got to be exciting for you because I know that outside of wrestling, you're also a big sports guy. So I think even yesterday it was on like what sandwich between golf and hockey. It's like such a cool thing that you're in this world now. I mean, it's got to be pretty special for you to see your face after, especially after that golf tournament yesterday. It's got to be pretty cool to see your show right in the midst of all that stuff.
Oh man, are you kidding me? Like I actually did the post game for the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
The putt, both of those putts from DJ and Rahm. I was like, oh my God, these are amazing putts. And then there you go, Cannonball right after. I'm like, wow. And I was doing the post game show for the PGA Tour because I'm a huge golf fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, anytime Cannonball gets to be seen by a bunch of viewers, and I honestly, Cannonball's a lot of fun for me because they literally just say, do whatever you want. And just have fun and be exciting and be entertaining. And I'm like, well, I can do that.
Yeah. You're pretty good at doing that. I am interested though. I mean, you're a guy who jumps at any opportunity. I'm wondering if you have though gotten into the water yourself. Have you done any of these crazy water challenges on the show?
I've wanted to, trust me, and they wouldn't let me. I think that, but honestly, it's the number one question I get asked. So if we get a second season, which I feel like we will with all the positive feedback we've gotten from Cannonball, we just haven't re-upped it yet. I think the number one thing in my contract is going to be I must test out each and every one of the challenges because that's the number one question I get asked.
It has to be. I mean, I need to see you out there. I would probably die if I did some of these things. I'm constantly amazing the things that these people do. I feel so grateful that they do because the show is so entertaining and so much fun. But are you amazed sometimes at the things that these people put their bodies through? I mean, you're just like churning out these people left and right who are just like willing to just do
it. It's fun. I'm not surprised. And I was surprised at first. And then when it started airing, everywhere I go, people are like, I want to do it. I want to do it. Like even WWE superstars. Like I walk into the arena and Sasha Banks comes up and goes, I want to be on Cannonball. Yeah. How do I get on? And I'm like, and then Braun Strowman comes up to me, Miz, I think I could do it. And I'm like, I think you can too. I think we need a WWE version of Cannonball.
Well, dude, that was going to sort of be my next question. I'm curious, A, who you think would be the best WWE superstar on the show, and then who would maybe be the worst. And I'm wondering if Otis might have some help because he is quite literally just a human cannonball, if that would hinder his chances.
So on some of the challenges, Otis would be the most dominant person out there. But on others, I'm not so sure. Yeah. Like you need a well-balanced person. And I look at someone like John Morrison who thinks it out of the box and is able to do anything athletically that you ask of him. I think John Morrison would do very, very well. I think Otis would do amazing on the Omega slide. Yeah, but then when you put him on a launch pad like Surf Rider, I'm not sure he's got that good balance.
No, I don't know. I know his center of gravity might be a little compromised. I don't know, but yeah, I would love to see. I would pay money to see him go off the slide. He'd set a new record. I think
he'd be launched into space. That's how fast he'd be going.
He probably would. Well, I'm curious. You have done so much. You've main evented WrestleMania. You're a TV host, a reality star, a movie star. Is there anything on your bucket list that you haven't done? Is there something at the top that you're like, one day that is what I want to do? Because you've done.
I look at The Rock, I look at Bautista, I look at John Cena, and I look at their big budget movie careers, and I haven't had that big budget movie yet. And I hope to someday get that. And not only that, but also animation. Now that I watch cartoons every day, all day with my two daughters, I'm like, man, I got to get into animation.
What has this sort of crazy quarantine life been like for you? It's specific for everybody, but for you with the young family, I can imagine that it's been, I don't know, maybe hopefully kind of a special time because you are getting so much time, but I can't imagine it hasn't also been just kind of crazy.
I think my family makes the best of it. And when I hear that I'm going to be home more, That's a good thing because I've been able to take my daughter into the pool every day and teach her how to swim.
And get ready for what, season 25 of Cannonball?
Well, yeah, maybe. Honestly, the funny part is, so the way we do, like, it's 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go, jump, or jump. Ours is 3, 2, 1, cannonball. So my daughter, who is 2, thinks go is cannonball.
Yeah.
So she'll go 3, 2, 1, cannonball, and then she'll jump in the water and she'll swim to me. And like 2 weeks ago, I went really far, and I was like, this might be a little too far. I was a little nervous. I was like, my daughter's not going to do it. She's 2. There's no way. And we did 3, 2, 1 cannonball. She jumps in and swims to me. And Maurice was there. My mom was there. Madison was, like, we all were celebrating and she was just like, yay, I did it. And I couldn't believe she swam that far by herself underwater. I was like, wow, like, we're really getting somewhere. It was the first time I saw something that I was like, wow, I really did teach her that.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then a week and a half ago, Madison started walking. And it might have been 5 steps, but 5 steps in my book is a walk. And so now we got 2 toddlers.
Well, and what's so cool about that is, like you said, this is a crazy time, and in under normal circumstances, with the crazy life you lead, you're probably not seeing those moments, right? But
no, I would have missed it. I would. Yeah. I with the WWE schedule that we have and that we pride ourselves having, I don't think I would have been able to see or do all the things that I've been able to be doing with my family. So I've really homed in on this pandemic and said, you know what, I'm going to cherish every moment I have with my wife and my 2 kids.
Yeah, that's great, man. If we can I'm such a huge wrestling fan. If I can just pivot to wrestling and ask you a couple questions. I've been so happy to see the return of Talking Smack, and it is just like, you're so perfect. It's just the best. The stuff you've been doing with Big E has been getting a lot of feedback, and seeing the 2 of you go toe to toe is so entertaining and so great. I want to know, A, where do you see that going? And then B, how do you respond to some of the feedback that the segments with Big E have been getting?
So with Talking Smack, the first episode airs, right? And before it's about to air, Xavier Woods is supposed to be the regular host, but he wasn't there, and they needed a host. And so an hour before the show's going to air, they go, hey, Miz, you're going to host Talking Smack tonight, or do you want to host Talking Smack tonight? I was like, sure, why not? And I didn't have any time to prepare because we were filming SmackDown right before. Yeah. So literally, I get in there and I do what I feel Talking Smack is. Talking Smack is kind of behind the scenes. You get inside information, things that you normally don't hear said on the SmackDown brand. You get to hear. So with Big E, we didn't talk before. We just started conversating, and we both had views on different aspects of Kofi's launch to superstardom. And where I was coming from is what's happened to me in WWE. And that's what I always kind of do when I'm on those shows. Like, granted, Big E's been there for a long time. He doesn't need my advice, but I'm always going to share what I've been through to get to where I am today. And he's going to have his opinion. And my opinion of Big E was, I think he is a main event caliber player, but he needs to change a little bit. He needs to get off of this goofy side and this fun and funny, and just because he's so entertaining that you're going to be looked at as just entertaining and not a marquee superstar. And we've seen it time and time again in WWE. But Big E's outlook on it is, I've done the serious thing, and it got me crickets in the audience. Right. This is working. And just because it hasn't worked before doesn't mean it won't work now. And so the first week, I got back, like, there was backlash. There was negative and there was positive. But I'm a person that I want to learn. Like, I want to know if I said something wrong or if I did something wrong on there. It was just going off and having a discussion. Sure. And so the next week, I went to Big E to talk to him about it, and we had the discussion, and we loved the conversation. I loved it. I loved the first Talking Smack so much because it showed, without even knowing, Big E became serious. Yeah. And but it wasn't a yelling serious. It was a matter of fact. This is A, B, C, and D of why. And he went from being that goofy character to a serious character. On the second episode of Talking Smack, we had time to like kind of discuss because I knew he was going to be a person on there, and he was able to not only do what he did on the first episode, but do it again and do it even more elaborate. And that is the biggie that I believe is a marquee main event caliber universal champion type superstar. And if you watch both episodes, you literally see him go from this goof, this funny, this entertaining guy to a serious matter of fact, this is who I am. And I was like, that's the guy. That's maybe you don't need a suit. Maybe you are who you say you are. And I think discussions like that is what we need more in this world. Sure. And we were both open. We were both honest. Like, I'm friendly with Big E. I want the best for Big E. And so it was a really open and honest conversation.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And if anybody knows the power of talking smack, it's you, and what it can do for somebody's career. And I think even, watching Payback last night, I think we saw a little bit of the gear shifting with Big E a little bit, getting a little bit more serious after his match. So you brought up main events. I want to ask briefly, let's say that things are relatively back to normal and we have the WrestleMania next year in Los Angeles in front of 100,000 people. The host of Cannonball has to have a marquee, maybe main event match on the show, right?
The host of Cannonball, the star of Ms. and Mrs., along with my wife. I would imagine that is the goal. Who do you want to face? Cleveland is my hometown, but LA is where I live. And so I consider that home as well. So to be in my backyard, to not be the main event of WrestleMania will be a huge disappointment on my behalf. And so now I look at the card and I look at who just came back, the big dog, Roman Reigns. Not only that, but he won the Universal Championship, and now he has Paul Heyman in his pocket. He is the most dangerous superstar in all of WWE now, because if you didn't believe he had it before, which I did believe, I've always believed he had it. But if you didn't believe, now with Heyman in his pocket, you are going to believe, because Heyman will make you believe, because that's the power of Paul Heyman. And to have that kind of elevation which is already, I believe, the poster child of WWE. Now that's something I want to dig my teeth into. And whether it's, a month down the line, like I need to take my own advice and start getting more serious and getting more elevated inside the WWE ring, to where people will view me as a viable opponent for someone like Roman Reigns as Universal Champion with Paul Heyman by his side. I know what I need to do now.
Yeah. Ooh, goosebumps. It writes itself.
There you go.
It writes itself. Well, okay, last question, then I'll let you go. It's a sports question. We can maybe convene again next year. We'll see how you do with this. I want to get your opinion. Over under wins for your Cleveland Browns this season. 8.
I'm gonna say they will be. I want to say they'll win the AFC North, but they won't, because Baltimore is just really, really well done. They're a very good team. But I think they could be a wild card this year into the playoffs and make a deep run, if not Super Bowl caliber type. I think Baker Mayfield has the offensive line to give him the time to actually throw to Odell and Jarvis and Hooper, all of his. He has so many places to go. He's got an amazing running backs in Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. The offense is there for the taking. And I think Stefanski is going to be able to guide Baker into making him a really, really elite level quarterback. So I'm really excited about the Browns this year. I'm actually doing a lot of fantasy football drafts in the upcoming weeks. I think I'm in 7 leagues. I'm actually in one league where James Roday you may know him from A Million Little Things or Psych. Him and I have teamed up together with the V Foundation and Connor's Cure, and which, if you don't know who's Connor Cure is, it's pediatric cancer research. They raise money for that, and V Foundation is for cancer research, period. So we've joined up with them to basically say, look, we're going to go in a league in the NFFC, and every dollar that we make for our team, we will donate to the V Foundation and Connor's Cure. And we have upwards to $207,000 that can be donated if we win. And I'm really good at fantasy football, so we plan on winning.
I hope so. Well, listen, Miz in the main event of WrestleMania, Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl. Everything's coming up, Mike Mizanin in 2021. Season 2 of Cannonball. I mean, let's just keep it going.
Keep it going.
Let's keep it going. Well, thank you very much for your time. This has been a blast. I watch you every week on like 800 different shows. So
I know, right? But Thursday's the finale, so definitely watch Cannonball 8/7 Central on the USA Network.
There you go. He said it. I don't have to. There you go.
Say it all.
Thanks, man.
I'll
Thanks
get it in.
Time. Really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man.
Okay,
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.